It was rubbish day in festive whoop. Number 52 is Mr. Benn's house. Mr. Benn was looking at his full bin. I never intend to put a lot more in, he told himself. It was. He remembered his books were me, and the television service was on TV, and it gave him a new thought. Another television program was on in the 70s. It was called the Wombles. He had a record player, but not the album of them. He smiled at the actor, for it was time for another visit to the costume shop. He put on his hat and coat and went to find it. Huh? He suddenly saw the chemical. Excuse me, said the presenter. Would you like to show us something? Mr. Benn was thinking about his secret. He didn't want to get the little wolf found out. How about Fowler Brothers? The engine works with George Wood and his brothers and me in once, said Mr. Benn, pointing to a shop-bound factory. The chemical looked at it, and Mr. Benn walked away unnoticed. He came to the back streets and found the shop where adventures could begin. As if by magic, the shopkeeper appeared. Good morning, sir, he said. What would you like to try on today? How about this tidy shirt with the Wombles hook on it? Said Mr. Benn. You look the way, sir, said the shopkeeper. Both of them looked at the door to the fitting room. Mr. Benn changed into the tidy shirt. He looked at how he looked in the mirror, and then went through the door that could lead to an adventure. When he went through the door, he noticed a barroom, and the Wombles were about to start work. Oh, said Great Uncle Bulgaria, I don't believe in seeing a human being like yourself visiting us. I haven't met you in my life, said Mr. Benn. I see the tidying up job's about to begin. You could give us a hand, said Arul. There's a bag I made for you. Thanks. When shall we start? When Great Uncle Bulgaria finishes with the talking, we choose a spot to tidy up. We find something for the workshop as we find rubbish, said Bug. Left turn! See what I mean? Let's tidy up. Mr. Benn and the Wombles split it up to tidy. Alden and Mr. Benn went in a thickly bush because he was looking in the middle. I looked in her the other day because I saw something wrong. What is it? Said Mr. Benn. Alden walked in the middle of the bush to have a look. It's a box. That wasn't seen from us before. Strange. It's got whole stuff, said Mr. Benn. I suppose we're looking for kitchen things. You have a look over the other bush, said Arthur. We might take them out. Mr. Benn did, and found something when his foot kicked it. It was another box, which was for tools. Over her, Harvard, said Mr. Benn. We got the boxes out of the bushes just as the other Wombles came up. We thought you were hitting the jackpot, Harvard, said Tomsk. We found rubbish. We found rubbish too, said Arthur. I didn't sleep on you this time. You might give us a hand, said Mr. Benn. That box of house stuff is heavy. Then the tote box I picked up. We took it back to the bar, but Arthur was off wandering in the woods. Kid's Uncle Bulgaria wanted a copy of today's Times, he said. How did our friend do his trick? He went back to the others to tell them he had an idea. Why don't we play hide and seek? It's a game humans do. Oh, that looks like fun, said Wellington. Who's hiding and counting? I'm hiding and our friend's counting. Whoever finds me wins a cake, plus find the Womble Times. Wombles covered their eyes. Arbu ran off to hide. Mr. Benn started counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Arvin found a good hiding place, but when he looked out from behind the tree, he looked his prince. Thought Arvin. They'll be sure to follow them to find me easily. Arvin had his act. He was with the trees and bushes, so he was at the edge of the woods. He started climbing the tree he hid behind and took out his tidy bag, which was half full. When he was at the top, not finding any rubbish because there wasn't any, his next plan was to move from tree to tree by climbing along the branches. Arvu got to the other side and went looking for the newspaper. None of the Wombles went along her. This is my war coat. It's easy to find anything apart from the newspaper. He went over a hill and went down the other side. This was a jackpot place he found. An object was a television set. It had been here for 10 months, and behind it was the Wombles Times. Aha! Said Arvu. I've discovered the newspaper. They'll have to find me instead. Back on the other side, the Wombles began looking after Mr. Benn finished counting. 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. Off they went looking for Arvin and the paper. He followed the tracks to the wood, but when we went in it, he wasn't seen. He seemed to have vanished. The newspaper wasn't in there either. Arvin, meanwhile, was setting up in his war coat. He picked up a typewriter and started doing some writing to make up a story. He then discovered a hoop shed, which was perfect for an office. He put up a poster on the telescreen and waited. Hey, look, said Bonk. That wasn't seen from us before. Mr. Benn and the rest of the Wombles saw it was Aruku's hidden war coat. "Hello," said Aruku. "I found today's Times and this television set with the shed." "Oh, and you just hooked a story of when you went wander walking to her. That might be interesting for the papers to have," said Wellington. "We might shoot it to Great Uncle Bulgaria. Oh yeah, we still got the boxes to take back." We went back to the bar, but Mr. Benn said he would still have a look at Aruku's secret bush office for a while. As he did, he discovered a book. He thought he'd give it to the bar. He met them at the place and we invited him for lunch. Mr. Mr. Benn took a pie from Madame Hootley and was about to look in their place when, as if by magic, a man it was the shopkeeper. "Fancy meeting them from the 70s too, sir," he said. "Step into the office. You've got some other newspaper to take." Mr. Benn stepped into Great Uncle Bulgaria's office and, just as he expected, he found he was back in the fitting room of the shop. He took a last look in the mirror and changed back into his hook. Aaron certainly had the way of finding something the others couldn't find, said Mr. Benn as he turned the tiger shirt. "He wanted to get into some writing to the papers," said the shopkeeper, "making tales of when human beings met a womble. And this is one of the creature-made things." Mr. Benn said goodbye and went home. Back in festive food, everyone had taken in their bins when they were emptied. At his door, Mr. Benn found the newspaper of when Aruku met human beings. Whoopity hasn't heard about tales made from a womble except me, but at least it can help me to remember.